Okay, good evening. Hello, let's go. This is your girl Yams, and you guys are back for another episode of Islandish Podcast. This is episode 31, and we have with us the teacher, the musician, the singer, the band. I call you the band manager for the Jags Pop Band, and an all-around amazing person when it comes to music and owner of Harmony Entertainment, Miss Shaquita Stubbs. Clap, 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 clap. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It's
Thanks
a pleasure to have you here.
After.
Now, she used to be my teacher back in the day, island up there. But we ain't talking about that. We are talking all about her being a teacher, being involved in music and entertainment. Everybody knows that it's something I absolutely love to talk about here in the Bahamas in terms of its diversity from the different ways people come at Bahamian music, put it on a global scale, and have established businesses and careers using Bahamian music.
Right.
So let's talk about you from the very beginning. You are from Grand Bahama, so let's talk about that.
Well, I'm actually not from Grand Bahama.
Where you
People
from,
don't
girl?
know. Born in Nassau.
Nah, we claim
But my mom works for customs, so that's transferring here and there.
Got you.
Grand Bahama's been the longest place that we've been, and I've been here since I think 2004. I was somewhere around there in that vicinity. Yeah.
Okay, great. So what influenced you to get into being a teacher, getting into music? What was your first introduction to music growing up?
My grandfather was a musician.
Okay.
And I was the first grandchild. And I was outside playing in the dirt, like little children. What else do you do,
right?
And he was
Mud pies.
he was like, girl, come here. Let me put you on the piano. And he sat me down my one little finger, and Mary had a little lamb turned into all these years later still.
Wonderful.
So my grandfather was my first introduction to music. Yes.
So with your love for music, which instruments do you play right now currently?
I play piano, saxophone, drums, but I'm a singer mostly, of course. That's what people know me as. But the people don't know is that my degree is in composition. I'm a classical composer. I write classical music.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You write classical music. A lot of people don't do that.
No, we don't. No.
So what got you down that lane?
I don't know. I know I used to write a lot of songs, like little gospel songs. Like my classmates could attest to. Every time we have an assembly, I can write on a song based on the assembly or however. And it was amazing because when I went off to college, I thought when I said I wanted to write music, it was going to be me writing little gospel songs, in the studio, laying the little tracks, whatever. Didn't know they was going to put me in front of a computer with this music software and tell me I must write classical. But what was interesting and what they said to me is because they were like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I'm like, why? And they were like, well, case in point, you're black. Okay. You're a woman from the Bahamas. Yes. And you want to be a composition major. Even more the reason why. I was like, sure, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you done any work or anything that people know about or probably they don't even know about?
I wouldn't say people know about it. I mean, I guess if people follow me on YouTube, I do have some of my classical works up, but I guess that isn't something that they would look for from me. Also, I've written some gospel. I've written a love song, and all of those are on YouTube, on SoundCloud. But of course, because I'm more of a behind the scenes person.
Right.
I don't push stuff out as much as I should.
Yes.
And I've been being told that a lot lately, like you need to put yourself
out there. Thank you.
Because people need to know that you do these things. So I'm now, I guess, trying to push things,
Yes, come in this spotlight. Come sit on the podcast and talk about all these things you do.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying that as well is because I know a lot of Bahamians who want to get into film. And they want to do things like that. And with you being someone who's a composer, you could probably even start to do scoring in terms of like picking music. And people wouldn't think that you could do something like that.
No, they don't think it, but I do. I can do film scoring and all of that stuff. I have the software. But I just haven't had a student that came into my classes that I want to compose. I'm waiting for that student to walk in and be like, I want to be a composer because I think that would be the happiest day ever. But I haven't had that yet. They've dabbled here and there. And, they've written little songs here and there, but not to say, I want to actually sit down and compose a piece of classical music. That's not something I've encountered yet in my almost 20 years.
Now let's talk about your 20 years of teaching. How did you transition from classical composer, being your studies in college, to now being a music teacher and I ain't gonna lie, one of the best music teachers I've ever had?
Thank
Gotta give you
you.
your flowers for that.
Thank you.
So, what transitioned you into that, and what has kept you being a teacher?
Funny thing is, and I think my mom might be watching, but my mom said to me one day, I came home from school, she said, go and apply for teaching. And I said to my mom, I will never be a teacher. And 20 years later, God has a sense of humor because I am still in the classroom teaching. But I think the transition for me, it wasn't hard because being a composer, the main thing that we had to be big on was music theory. And that's a lot of what I taught when I first came in. All of the performing arts stuff didn't come into scene until 2014.
Yes.
So it was kind of easy in the beginning, but I'm kind of a person who I sit and I observe what's going on, and then I try to figure out how I can change it and make it better. And so over the years, that has just been my goal. When I came into the system, seeing how it was, and then figuring out how we can take it to the next level.
Okay.
So every year, there's just kind of a goal on, okay, how can I improve on what I've done previous years? And so that's kind of what's been, I guess, my driving force of I guess you should say, how I can make it better, what other opportunities I can create for the students, how can I push myself as an educator to be better for the students, how can I change myself as an educator as these kids are changing.
Right.
As new things come on the scene, we as educators, or me as an educator, I say, I don't want to be a part of that. Like if they're on TikTok, why can't I be on TikTok? If they're doing this, why can't I figure that out? Because I have to be able to talk to them on their level.
Right.
And especially in entertainment, because we have AI singing now.
Yeah, child.
So what did I do? I went and learned how to make AI videos. And so now the kids are like, now Ms. Stubbs isn't going to be teaching us anymore. We're going to have this AI person talking. But as things change as educators and as myself, I just try to change with that.
I love that. That's actually very innovative. A lot of teachers actually don't do that. No shade, no tea. But to see that you actually want to keep up with what's relevant with children, because it's important to keep them engaged. Because I even remember for me, it was hard for me to be engaged in school because...
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it was boring.
Yeah.
I finished my work early.
Yeah, and I just tell Yami's pick up a mic. That's
like, you know what, go talk. Right, yeah, you ain't want to sing? All right, then talk. You could do that too.
Right.
So here we are years later. So let's talk about how, because I feel like, I don't want to say you formed the Jags Pop Band, but how did that happen? Because that wasn't happening when I graduated in 2010.
Well, no, it wasn't. What happened was, and I'll be honest, I had some instruments that were donated, a bass guitar and some other instruments. And I had students that just were interested in how to play them.
Okay.
So I remember opening up a bass guitar, and I had a student, T-Ron Jones. I think he's a police officer now. But he just saw this bass, and I was like, you want to play it? Like, he just kept looking at me, looking at this instrument, taking it out of the box. And he was like, yeah. And he picked up the bass, and I think today now he's still playing the bass in his church.
Nice.
So, like, once I realized that students had an interest in certain things, that's when I said, okay, let me form something, some sort of an outlet where they can use this talent, develop this talent, figure out what these talents are that they may have and don't recognize yet. And so that's when the first pop band, I guess, was formed. The ones that went to Canada, that would be Lemuel Bain, who's now back here in the community, Livia Duncombe, Kishan Simonet. Then we had Mario Jones, who wasn't a student at St. George's. He was at Sunland, but he was our drummer.
Right.
So we just was pulling people in left, right, and center. Raheem Larimore, who are all these students who are now either finished school or started their families, and you see them now, and it's like, look at where you've come from, where you started. And so it's a proud moment, especially like when people like Lemuel walking in and I in a voice lesson with him and Kwai, and I'm like, use my. Okay, boy, full circle, right? Yeah. So, but that's when it started. We went to Canada that year, and they got to audition for college, and we did some performing there. And the kids, some of them actually got accepted to Holland College that year and went off and studied performing arts and voice. And so, from then I was like, okay, this is something that can keep going. Yeah. And so from 2014 to now, it's still going.
I love that. And listen, this ain't no joke band. I know, where my camera right there. This ain't no joke band. There's have outfits, there's have choreography, there's being sync. Like, it tells a story. And it goes to show that either you or y'all as a group, y'all put a lot of thought into it. To the point, like, y'all are like y'all rivaling some of these grown adult bands. Like, y'all giving them a run for their money. So what advice would you give a person who wants to do things like that with young people? You mentioned being on their level, but what's the other things?
Well, you have to have a passion for it first. Like I guess I had to develop my passion for it, but some people have been born to teach. Like I
Right.
just had to develop it because and I love doing it, even with its challenges. But the biggest thing when it comes to students, especially creative students, is finding out where their strengths are.
Okay.
Because you can have a student that comes in and they might not be academically inclined. A lot of creatives and a lot of persons in technical and vocational courses aren't. But you have to find out where their strengths are and capitalize on those strengths.
Right.
Help them where they're weakest as best as you can as well. So like I'll have a student who might be in my classroom every day, but they're falling down in other areas. You still have to find out as a teacher, how can I balance what they have and bring everything else up?
Right, that they need.
Right. So you have to have a passion for it, and then you have to have a vision too. You have to know, okay, this is what I want. This is what I envision to happen, and then figure out how you can make it happen, even if it's asking for help. Because as one of my problems, I don't like asking for help, and I had to bite the bullet and be like, sometimes you just need help. Because a lot of things you can't do it on your own. And then being in the government system, there's a lot of disadvantages and things that you don't get. So sometimes you have to go and outsource assistance from other places and figure out what it is you need to develop what it is you want.
One for the kids,
exactly.
And one for the group.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. So, because we started to wrap up talking about June and we're supposed to get into our topics.
Oh.
But right now, I do want you to talk a little bit more about Harmony Entertainment, how that got started, and the services you offer in
well, that's where I'm talking about asking for help.
Okay.
Harmony Entertainment is more like a mentorship program.
Oh, okay.
So what I would do is I like bringing in persons because I don't know it all. Miss Stubbs can't dance.
Right.
Miss Stubbs ain't about to choreograph.
Okay, gotcha.
Nothing. So that's where Stefan Cartwright and Colette Parker come in because Miss Stubbs can't do that. If I need help with the band, that's when I call Kamal or Shawnee or some of them to come in. When I need help with the voices, I call Kelda Sweeting.
Gotcha.
Because sometimes what I realize too, kids become very familiar. So because it's me, I can tell them forever, go work on your diction, go sing, go do something. And they ain't gonna do it. But they go to national arts and the adjudicator say, you need to spend more time on diction. They're in the mirror for the rest of the week working on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I noticed. When it comes from me, a lot of times it's not received the way it should be because, you just
You're too close to home.
You always fussing. You always rowing, But if somebody else comes in and tells them the same thing, it's received a lot better. And so I use that to my advantage. I also offer lessons. I have some voice students right now. So sometimes people come and say they want some voice lessons for their kids, or sometimes the pageant girl needs help. Dominic and Daryl are really good with bringing me in with the pageant girls with their talents. If they want piano lessons, if they need help with theory, when we do BGCSE classes, a lot of times I have students from other schools that come into the BGCSE classes. So there's that aspect of it. And then there's the entertainment aspect of it, where I do private weddings, shows, hotels, wherever.
Right.
So I do that. I did 2 weeks at Bimini Resort World in Bimini. I'll do our Lukaya in the lobby or a private function. So there's the mentorship, there's the teaching, and then there's the entertainment part of it. Right.
There's the community, the education, and the money.
Right, there you go.
I got it. Perfect sense, working in harmony together.
Yes,
I get it.
yeah, there you go. All right.
All right. So we're going to take our first commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue talking with Shaquita Stubbs all about music here in Grand Bahama.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason.
And I'm Cheryl. Join us here on Superior Talk Bahamas YouTube channel every Tuesday at 6 for Let's Talk,
where we talk about issues that matter to you. We try to come up with workable, practical solutions so we have more action and less talk.
See you on Tuesday.
Okay, so we're back with Islandish Podcast with Miss Stubbs, the big teacher. Now, you have been at St. George's for how many years?
Almost 20. Next 2026 will make 20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because, I graduated. Makes sense. Okay,
Yes.
I'm putting my business out there.
Right.
Right. Okay, so with you being there for 20 years and watching students, transition, especially with education and different things like that, what are some of your challenges as being a government school teacher?
Some of the challenges, I think when it comes to kids transitioning, it's Well, when it comes to performing arts, period, I think it's convincing the parents that
Right.
it makes sense 1st because it's like, why you want to go in performing arts? What you can do with that?
Yeah.
And so, as a teacher, I now have to show them what their child can do with a degree or this background in performing arts. And so that's where, partnering with schools and getting scholarships and stuff come into play, because I have to show them at the end of the day, this is what could possibly happen. However, the child has to apply themselves.
Right.
But I think the biggest challenge now is, I know when I was in school, and a lot of kids were more interested, I guess, and there was less distractions.
Yeah.
And so it's like the interest and the distractions, they friends right now.
Yeah.
It's like, I distracted with this, I want to do this, so I don't want to practice. So that's the biggest issue that I'm facing right now. When it comes to the educational system, it is what it is, to be honest. So there's a lot of things that you just don't take on because you realize there's nothing that you can do to change it because it's above me.
Yeah.
So I tell persons all the time, it doesn't matter who sits in the top chair. I'm just going to do what it is I'm supposed to do. I can't worry about who's in place, who's not in place, who's doing what. I, as a teacher, have a responsibility. So as long as I'm doing my job, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I don't take on all the other extra stuff.
Yeah, that's why you could last almost 2 decades.
Yeah, because I realize what my job is. My job is to teach the kids.
Right.
And so as long as that's what I'm doing, you can't find fault if someone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? So as long as I'm doing that. So my challenge more so is just ensuring that I have those options for these kids when they come out of school, and then getting to them to apply themselves for the 3 years so that they can be able to take those opportunities.
Got you.
Yeah.
Do you see social media culture being somewhat of a deterrent?
I want to blow it up.
Okay.
And this is why, and I'm not being funny, but this is my dilemma.
Okay.
Give a scenario. You ask a child to do an assignment. All they have to do is do assignment and upload the assignment. You can sit there and you can edit a TikTok video and you can upload a TikTok video, but you can't upload my assignment. Doesn't it require the same thing?
Yeah.
But I tell them all the time, like, y'all are smart, stupid, or stupid, smart. However, you have this thing in your hand called a cell phone
master of
that has a plethora of information at your fingertips, and you don't take advantage of it. And it's like, that's my pet peeve right now. And that's why I say sometimes I have to meet them at their level, because, okay, y'all sitting here using AI to write y'all assignments, right? Y'all going to chat GPT, like, we ain't smart enough to realize you don't talk like this on a regular basis.
Yeah, you don't talk like that. You don't
But
write
you
that
can give me a paper that have these big words, and I'm like, what does it mean? No, I don't know, but you wrote it,
Right.
So let me use AI now to create these little images and put little intros to my lessons together so that y'all can see it can be used for good. It don't have to be used for bad.
Right.
And so that's my thing with social media. It's like they spend so much time on their phones, but they're not doing anything constructive.
Right. Anything positive.
Nothing positive. And we say we want to move towards technology, but it's somewhere down the line, someone has to teach them how to use it responsibly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and put up safeguards and stuff too.
But my thing is, these kids are so smart. So, for instance, and I'm gonna say it on live. The children could tell me how to put a VPN on my phone to block out the TikTok and thing, and on campus.
Yeah.
So it's like they're smarter than us. We saying, we blocking all these things, and the children say, okay,
You think you blocking it?
let me put this in so I can still do, So, in the United States, you have second graders going to school and getting an iPad, but we can't even get past the cell phone issues.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we're so behind the 8 ball where we could be so much further ahead. But I tell the kids they cost it on themselves because they haven't learned how to use these things responsibly.
Right. You're not giving the powers that be an incentive to even want to include this technology.
Exactly. They're not.
Because you're being reckless with it.
Exactly.
Understandable. I think that's the same thing like when we was in school, right? I think it was like 1 year when they allow us to drive to school.
Oh my God!
You remember that?
Yes,
year?
and I wanted to take all the cars and put them in the Bush Costa Road.
Right, and like people just abused it.
They just all run out.
Loud music.
Just me like, who adult this is coming to see their child?
Right.
Child jumping over the Kanye in the farm. I'm like, what?
In Chevy bed.
Like,
Like, we just know how to push it, but then that's a children's thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let's talk more about what is or what you feel would help young people as it relates to education more, including things like content creating and the creative space? Because I love what you're doing with the pop band and with your music program at your school. But what other areas do you think we need to grow educationally when it comes to like music?
Well, when it comes to let me talk about the course itself.
Okay.
And the reason being is because it's a progressive course. So when you get to grade 12, we jump into music business. And a lot of persons don't do that.
Okay.
The kids have to learn how to write a performance resume. They need to know what branding is. I actually wrote the books that I use for the course.
Nice.
And so this year I am tweaking it because I'm adding technology, AI, content creation, all that stuff, because this is the new stuff now that's coming on board that people are using now to make money from.
Right.
And so it doesn't always have to be you singing. I know I came in contact with a lady on TikTok who sings, but the AI creations sing the music that she writes. You don't see her, you just see these images singing songs that she wrote. Why is it that my student can't say, I wrote a song, and then I show them how to make the AI images and then show them how to do the lip singing and that's something that we can do. So that's why I keep saying I have to stay up with the trends and I have to stay up with the times, because I want to know now, okay, what's the new thing coming in that my students can learn, and how can I give that to them?
Wonderful. You said something and you hop skip over that, like you didn't just say what you say.
What I said?
You said you wrote books.
Oh.
And books that you use to teach. Are these books you're selling? Are they published?
Well,
Are you shielding the knowledge for yourself?
I just use them for the kids.
Okay.
Really, but I am in the process right now of publishing a book. It's called Triple Threat, a guide for performing arts students.
Okay.
And it's probably going to be out hopefully within the next couple of months. We're just doing the tweaking with it.
Yes, put that on Amazon.
All that stuff, and then they're going to put it on Amazon. It's going to be an ebook, audiobook. But basically what it is I know a lot of students coming into performing arts might not know what it entails. So it kind of gives them an idea of what's going to happen when they come into the course.
Right.
And then what they can expect leaving. So it talks about the audition process, the press kits, all that stuff. Because when they get in grade 12, we do music business, they have to do a press kit. So we have Alfred Anderson who comes in all the time and they does their headshots. Then we have the performance resume, any productions or anything that they were in, all that stuff, their resume, their repertoire, but all songs or monologues or whatever they've done for the 3 years that they've been in the course, so they have an actual portfolio to present at the end. And so that the book is kind of taking them through all of that, and then what you should have on audition, what to expect on an audition, what the future could hold for you, where could you go. So that's what the book is going to cover.
Listen, when I tell you all my alma mater, your school could never, your favorite school could never. They ain't got no Shaquita Stubbs. Okay, then? No, because it's really good that you're doing this, because a lot of young people, they feel like, and like I said, I blame social media for this as well. They feel like these things because
come instantly,
and
it's not.
Like, oh yeah, I can drop this song, it can go viral, and then I can be on Love and Hip Hop or on Body.
And the social media has just made it so. It's like they have unrealistic expectations. They have a warped sense of reality right now.
Right.
Because they see these things and they're like, I want that. But what that person had to do to get that? You don't know that. You just seeing this product now.
Yeah, the end product.
Exactly. But you don't know what they had to do to get where they're getting, and the things that they have to do to get where they're getting. You know, and you're not prepared for that. So don't. Yeah, these kids. Yeah, pretty much.
I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
We're going to take our next commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk more about the music industry here in the Bahamas.
Yo, what's up, Bahamas? My name is Andrew Williams, aka Cat.
And I'm your boy Mix.
And we're representing Off the Bench, the #1 talk sportcast in the Bahamas.
In the world, my boy.
My bad partner. So we cover anything sports throughout the Bahamas. We cover our Bahamian athletes wherever they are, and they're making waves in sports. We cover them.
Hey, just tune in to us every Wednesday here on Superior Talk at 6:00 p.m.
Sharp. The #1 talk show in the world, Craig.
We are back without the heart attack. We are here on Islandish Podcast talking to the lovely Shaquita Stubbs. But before we get back into it, we want to remind you guys to make sure you are liking, commenting, and sharing this video with your family and friends. Hit the subscribe button below for the Superior Talk channel. Now let's get back into it.
Yes.
So with you being someone who performs, you sing, and I have to admit, I love when I'm at events, especially like when it's like a wine and sip or a nice jazz event. And I know Shaquita on the keys and she's singing, like, okay, we can have a time, we can have a time.
Oh, goodness.
So let's talk about some of the challenges that comes with that industry in terms of getting yourself out there and getting bookings and things like that. What are some of the challenges you face?
I guess it's competitive.
Okay.
I guess in a sense, and it depends on what persons are looking for, and then it depends on if they're willing to pay.
Right, big part.
Definitely, this is not the United States of America where you get paid for these things, big bucks.
Yeah.
So here it's like you kind of, I think you just take what you can get, and then it makes it kind of difficult for persons coming after to say, oh, I want to get paid more, and then they're going to say, oh, but I could get this person for less than that.
Right.
Even when it comes to the kids, I think my biggest pet peeve with that is you tell me, like how you said, persons would say to them, oh, you guys are on the level as of
All
other bands,
these other adult bands,
but
yeah.
you want to pay them $3,000, $4,000, and then you want to throw the kids $500 just because
they're kids.
Because they're kids, and it's not fair because they have to put in the same amount of time as practice and losing after school, and then this is their holiday, and so it's stuff like that that I think is. I don't know. It's just hit and miss here, just in the Bahamas in general.
Yeah.
I think, other islands might, I guess, be more lucrative in that because they have a lot more venues. But it's limited here in Grand Bahamas to where you could really perform and sing. And then if you have 10 persons that they're trying to rotate, then, I know, for instance, me trying to be in the lobby of the hotel, it's like I'll get a gig here or there and then won't hear anything for months. So, it's just up and down.
Yeah,
and,
coming and goes of
pretty
it.
much,
Yeah. It's not really as stable as it would be. And that's actually a really good angle.
Yeah.
Because I've interviewed other entertainers and they don't talk about that in terms of like, sometimes it's just the economy.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need a singer for these slow months.
Right.
And then when things start to pick back up, that's when they reach out to get something done. So that's a good perspective to look at it at. With you being someone who plays with your piano and has to travel, how difficult is it moving?
It depends because sometimes I can do a gig and they might have a piano there. Like when I went to Resort World in Bimini, they have a piano in the lobby.
Okay.
So some nights I'll use the piano and then some nights I'll use karaoke tracks if they wanted some like reggae or some more upbeat stuff that you can't really do with a piano by yourself, right? So, I'm versatile in that way to where, and then I think one time I went there and they needed a saxophone player for a wedding, so it just depends on what's needed. But as far as traveling with my piano, I ain't got on a plane with a piano. They're gonna have to find me a piano there. But here it's not really difficult. I think the only place I had to have my piano consistently was at the upstairs when I was there.
Okay.
But it was just a matter of setting it up and then having somebody break it down. So of course I ain't about to lift no piano. So I have to have one of a very good engineer, and Lamrado Bo is very, very good engineer for me as well as my pop band. So they just call him the pop band engineer. So I just have to call him and be like, hi,
I need a favor.
I have to sing. I don't know, I'm gonna lift the speaker. So
a few minutes of your time.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but other than that, like if I, for instance, if I'm in the lobby of the hotel, they have a piano there, or I just use tracks.
Do you think you being so diverse in terms of the instruments you use and your ability to sing as well, has that made you have a bit of an edge? Because with you being able to do saxophone and piano, and you could sing with your instruments or with tracks, do you think that gives you somewhat of an edge as an entertainer?
I guess it depends. For instance, I played piano with Dave Mackey's band for like almost 11 years. I was just playing piano and singing backgrounds for him, and so that kind of, gave me a wider variety of repertoire and genres that I can sing as well, because in doing that, they did a lot of rock and roll and like all those kinds of stuff. And so now I'm like, oh, I could sing this song. So, and then I can go and sing with Kamal and have Kamal back me up at a party, and then I didn't know I could do this with this song, and so I just kind of put everything in the box and just pull from it, like okay, and then figure out like okay, you need a band, let me get that together. Okay, you just need a soloist, you need a violin player. Okay, let me figure that out. That's kind of what I've kind of become too. Like persons will call me and say, I need a violin player for a function on Saturday. You know anybody? Hold on 1 second. Let me go in my arsenal and figure out
my Rolodex.
Exactly. And see what it is like. So I guess it makes me a little versatile.
It does.
Yeah.
Because it's not like and I think that's an issue that a lot of entertainers in general. So even like with me, I started off with just MCing, but then I realized I had to broaden it. So then I added the radio thing and the podcast thing. So I feel like that's the thing with being in Grand Bahama.
Right.
You can't be a one-trick pony.
Right.
You have to have a couple things in your artillery belt.
Right.
So you could just be able to pull out, like, oh, you need that, I do that too.
Right.
Oh, I know someone.
So like for me, I guess, because I also do graphic designing.
Right.
And then I do the AI stuff now, and I build websites, and I do like book covers. Like I do all that stuff. So if anybody needs me for anything, it's like, okay, I could do that too. Now it's just getting people to pay for it. But,
right. That's
that's another thing. But I have a lot of things that I can do. And so when persons come, I try to help as best as I can with, or if I can't help them, send them to somewhere where I know they can get the help they need.
So, not everyone circle back to the children, but I feel like the children is a big part of how people in Grand Bahama know you for some reason.
Yeah, it's like every time someone say, you Miss Stubbs, then they say the pop band. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Yeah, they don't know me. They know the children. Yeah, right.
Exactly. But I've known you initially, of course, not only being my teacher, but knowing that you sing. And knowing that you're just a singer. And you're an amazing singer, amazing pianist, great on the sax. And then now with the pop band and everything. What's the thing that keeps you motivated in doing music besides your love for it?
I would say the kids, we put piggyback into the kids. I think when I see them accomplishing, it kind of gives me a boost. Like, okay, you're doing this for the right reasons. Because just like everybody else, I get discouraged. I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. These shows are driving me crazy. And then somebody gets it. That's like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. Or this one gets off to school, and I'm like, this is why I'm doing it. Or so it's moments like that that keeps me motivated. When I realize that what I'm doing is touching and reaching, even if it's just one. Because I had to learn a long time ago, you're not going to reach everybody. And I think when I first started teaching, that was my thing. I had to reach everybody. But if you just reach 1, 2, you're still doing an amazing job. And I think a lot of teachers need to hear that. You're not going to reach everybody, but as long as you're reaching the 1, the 2, or if they were here and you see them making one step or jumping one hurdle, you've accomplished something. So don't beat yourself up if the whole masses aren't moving. If they're even moving just a little inch, pat yourself on the back because you're doing something amazing.
Love that. That's good encouragement right there. Good energy. So my other question after that wouldn't also be along the lines of students, but also would be, how do you even keep them motivated and engaged? Because I see a lot of like even youth directors in churches and things like that. They're trying to find ways to keep the children motivated and engaged. And we mentioned about using AI and technology that they have at their disposal, but what other tricks or tips do you use?
The only thing I do is I stay relevant. I just have to. Even when it comes to, like I have kids who will just like the fact that I change my hair color every day and I just keep them motivated.
They like your nails.
Yeah, they like my nails. Oh my God, it's pink. It was purple yesterday. And like even little stuff like that you don't realize keep them engaged, but it does, And even when it comes to the pop band and to music and stuff, sometimes I ask them and say, what y'all want to sing? It ain't about me.
Yeah.
Send me some songs y'all might want to do. Right. Now, if we do it, it depends on them in practice because, we get in practice and
it doesn't sound like it.
It ain't sound like this or I got to take 10 million years just to get them settled because this generation is just so distracted. But I asked them, I'm like, what is it that y'all want to do? Like I just had a conversation with a student the other day. I said, what's your goal for this coming year? Like, do you actually want to know that? Yeah, I want to know what's your goal, what's your plan, what you want to accomplish, because sometimes they just want to know that you care enough to ask those questions. Right. And so sometimes that in itself keeps them motivated. Because so like my teacher asks me what my goal is, and I tell her what my goal is. So at the end of the year, I better beat my goal.
Because
she about to look for this. So it's just little stuff like that.
Yeah. Being someone who helps young people go off to school and get the opportunities in the creative spaces and stuff, what advice do you have for parents who have children who are creatives?
First thing, don't discourage them. My mother loved her to death. The one thing she never did was discouraged me. Even the times when I fell off and said, I remember I get jealous because my mommy was playing piano too, and me and her girls to the same music school. I said, I ain't playing piano no more. Right. But the one thing she never did was discourage me. She never said, oh, this ain't gonna be nothing, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer. She supported me to this day. If I tell my mommy on the live right now.
Hey, mom, watching the live. Big
Okay,
ups.
so like if I tell I performing today and I go live, we join TikTok to watch me go live and
I
Bimini
love that.
performing. So don't discourage your children. Support them, because that could be a blessing in the end of the day that can bless these parents, and they just don't know it.
Yeah.
You know, find out what their strengths, find out what their strengths are, find out what their weaknesses. Come and talk to the teacher, because I have moments where I'll tell the parent, if you're unsure, come and talk to me, bring the child, let's have a conversation, let's see where they're at, let's see what your reservations are, and let's work around it. But that's my biggest thing. Don't discourage them.
Yeah.
And then do your research. Sit down with them yourselves and look at schools and see what the options are, and see what the career options are, and what they could possibly do. And you never know, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing with parents, because a lot of parents don't see a future in it.
Right.
But don't discourage them, because a lot of times you put them in stuff that they don't want to be in, and they still full circle right back to the place you tried to discourage them from.
Yeah.
You know. So, and then they lose years. So let's try to avoid that.
Okay. So how's it going with the pop band now as of today?
As of today, I just lost 4 members from graduating. And then last year, I had lost 12.
Okay.
So, and when I say lost, I mean they graduated.
Yeah.
So it's like last year, I lost 12, one shot.
Straight out the gate.
So I
Whole
must had
band.
like 4 left or 6 left. So I had to rebuild. And then this year, I lose 4. Like my bass player, piano player, both lead singers going off to school, finished. So right now, when I get back in September, is seeing who I have,
season,
seeing where we at. Because then when we get back, people then can be like, y'all can perform next week. And I'm like, Jesus, we just reach back. I don't know what I have.
Right.
Let me breathe, you know. And so I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand. It's a rebuilding.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've seen probably 6 pop bands by now.
Yeah.
You know, really.
Your pop bands have really transformed like every year. I think that's one thing what keeps y'all relevant and like almost like, ooh, that's a new set. Like,
then that's what they say.
Yeah, it's like,
And so
ooh,
people,
that's a
and
new
then
lead.
people try to compare, you know, like, oh, this one is, and he.
I like that one. He
yeah,
can be moving.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what I think that's what it is. It's like, oh, that's a new set of kids. Okay,
Yes.
let's sit back and listen to these ones.
Yes.
You know, and then like, which one is the best? And I don't have a best.
Right.
You know,
Each of them bring their own flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Each of them have their own flavor. Each of them brought their own personalities.
Yeah.
And so there's no favorite pop band. Each
Right.
of them own their rights.
Yes.
You know, so.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to take our last commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to wrap up this amazing conversation we're having with Harmony Entertainment, a.k.a. Miss Stubbs.
Yes.
Hey.
Greetings and welcome to Superior Talk Bahamas. My name is Yvette Swain, and I am here with the Sword Sharpeners Prayer Network. We meet every Monday at 6 p.m., where we dive into the Word of God to see what He would say to us. You are welcome to join us. That's every Monday at 6 p.m. here on Superior Talks. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
And we are back with Islandish Podcast. Make sure you guys are following Islandish 242 on your social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, and you're subscribing to the Islandish channel on YouTube. Now, Miss Stubbs, as we start to wrap this conversation up, let's talk about music and new music here in the Bahamas. What are some Bahamian artists, old or new, that you like or love to see perform?
I would definitely say Nishi Ellis.
Okay, yes.
Sherrod, Taylor.
Yes, yes.
Wendy.
It's Wendy.
Yes. Shine. Javon.
Okay, yes.
Love seeing Jens's band. Tony Lowe.
Yeah, big ups to Tony.
Darnell, who I knew from school.
Yeah.
When she was in school. And Tony, who I knew from he was...
Baby.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just refreshing to see, you know, when I see persons. And I just actually reached out to some of DMAC, definitely. I just reached out to some of the artists because I'm revamping one of the history books.
Okay.
And I just reached out to Nishi and DMAC and Sherrod and those for their bio and stuff because I want to include the new artists in the book so the kids can see, oh, this thing is still going on.
Right.
And so I'm looking forward to putting this all together now to be able to present that to the kids and say, hey, we still have artists going and happening happening today. So those are some of the ones I love. I love seeing Sherrod on stage. I love seeing Nishi on stage. Wendy was here the other day and my children was eating that up.
Okay.
Like, you know, so it's good to see, yes.
Awesome. So what are your views on new Bahamian music compared to old Bahamian music?
All I can say is they're just taking the old and just making it better.
Okay.
They're coming up with their own style, their own flavor, which I love, like Jens combining Junkanoo and jazz.
Yes.
You know, and Nishi doesn't just do Bahamian, you know, she puts a spin on her reggae and everything. Wendy has the soca. So it's like everybody's making their own mark. You know, and Shine just I think Shine is just being the studio all day just
waiting for someone like, what we doing today?
Yeah, what we doing today? Like, what we doing tomorrow? Like, he must be living the studio, you know. So I just love to see the creations and what they come up with at the end of the day. You know, it's always different. There's always their own flair on it, and you know, it's inspiring. And sometimes the kids listen and be like, oh, okay. And then I know my student LaShawn, he had just written the song and he got his own little flair on it and stuff like that, you know. So it's like I think they listen and then they're like, okay, let's see how we could bring this into our own. So yeah.
I love that. And I like the fact that because some people just be bitter. You know what I mean? Like some Bahamian musicians and stuff, like they just be upset that the shine ain't coming to them. But with you being the type of person that you are, I've always known you to be someone who will push someone else to look amazing.
Definitely.
Like if they at 70, you gonna work behind the scenes to get them to 100.
Pretty much.
So what has led to you having that type of mentality in the music industry?
Because my thing is, I just feel like we just need more support. I don't do the hating thing. I can't. And if there's anything that I see anybody's doing where I can push them from behind the scenes to make it happen, I'm going to do that. It doesn't matter what the arena is. If I have a talent and a skill that can help somebody else become better, I think that's where my blessings come from.
Right.
It's not about making myself shine. It's about making others shine. And that's how I am with my students. And I tell them, don't be as good as me, be better than me.
Right.
You know, excel above me. Because as a teacher, that's what we want. I don't want you at this level. I want you to do some innovative stuff, like make some things happen. You know, for instance, I have Tanea Sands. That's my former student. She's now a teacher at Jack Haywood.
Yeah.
And she's starting her band.
Love
and anything that she needs, she know Miss Stubbs can push her.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have some that's in college now. Corey Higgs, Turquoise Dames, Alana Moore is studying to be music teachers. I want you to come take my seat.
Right.
Come and, you know.
I am ready to move on.
You know, so it's stuff like that that would keep you going because I want to push them to see them go beyond where I've gone.
Love that. Love to hear it, man. So, question as it relates to you and what you're doing. If persons want to reach out to you for music lessons, whether it's instrument or voice lessons, whatever it might be, now is your time to drop your info. Let them know how they can reach you, how they can get in contact with you, how they can book you.
Okay, well, I'm, of course, on all social media platforms.
Yes.
Every last single platform you could find. I'm there. So if you go on Facebook, you can look for my name, Shaquita Stubbs, or Harmony Entertainment, or K Harmony was the AI person. TikTok, Miss Kitty, something. Anyway, I'm on all.
But if you look up Shaquita.
Yeah, but if you look me up, my whole business card is on there. But 557-6646. My email, shakita.stubbs1981 @gmail.com. My website, Harmony Entertainment 242. I mean, the kids' websites and Georgia's Performing Arts. You can reach me through all of those, and I'm ready and available to help in any way that I can. Even if it's resources, even if you're a teacher and you're looking for a worksheet, I'm sure I have it. Don't be afraid to come to my classroom and say I need help with building content, with putting lessons together, like whatever it is you need. If I am here and able to help, I will help.
I love that. And I have to give you your flowers because, man, you have children in private school wanting to come to government school. You ever see? Like, they like, yeah, I want to be a part of that program. They got the best program.
Yeah.
And they are coming and you really doing the Lord's work and you actually pushing a lot of these young people to get into arts and into music, but the right way.
Yes.
Because they ain't just going to the YouTube university and just winging it.
No. We're trying to figure out what it is you have and how we could make what you have better. That's the whole thing.
That's awesome. It's such a pleasure. It's such a 360 moment.
I know, right?
I know.
My student's interviewing me, guys.
Yes,
you know?
I'm interviewing
She's doing
you.
what I told her she would do.
And here we are. This is what it's all about. It's about pouring into your community
Yes,
and watching
definitely.
it bear fruit. But thank you guys so much for tuning into Islandish Podcast. Thank you for watching this episode. Miss Stubbs, we're gonna have to bring you back
Anytime.
when it's time for the book launch and
Yes,
everything.
definitely.
You can give me a copy of the book. I can read through it. I can ask you a couple questions about it, and we can floss this over
No
properly.
problem. So
But
once
wishing
that's
you
out, I
all
will
the
definitely make sure
best.
you get that.
Always
definitely.
here to encourage, always here to
And I
support.
appreciate you.
Islandish, make sure y'all follow Miss Stubbs. I can make sure I drop everything in the description of this episode. Thank you so much for stopping
Yes.
on in. You are always welcome.
Definitely.
And this has been fun, but we gotta run.
Yes.
See y'all next week. I lie. Week after that for the next episode of Islandish Podcast. Peace out. Bye.